Yeah, disappointed with the results and with the performance as well. I think we never got the consistency in many areas to completely dominate the game. We always had the feeling that, we had the ball, we had possession, went in front twice, but the game wasn't grabbed, it wasn't dominated and controlled in the way that we normally do, because we were below the standards in some areas. And when you are not at your best, but you are 2 times ahead, you have to be able to see the game off, and we weren't able to do it, especially with what happened in the second goal.
That PSG game is obviously just looming. Do you think that was in the minds of the players? I know you wouldn't want it to be, but do you think it was?
Hopefully not, but we discussed that with Horejwich and it wasn't there, and today we had still 6 days to prepare that match, and I don't want to use that. Obviously we have missed a lot of players that haven't trained at all, they weren't able to do today, so we've been very short. But as well, credit to Palace, they are very well organized, they are a really good side, and they made it difficult for us, and the reality as well that today we were at our best.
Alex, BBC? Hi Mikel, that's a 13th draw in the league. I know you've missed a lot of key players and had some difficult circumstances, but is there a particular reason you think we've had so many draws this season?
Well, we haven't been able to see the games off for many reasons, and the margin have been too small. Sometimes create to the opposition. It's true that we play 5 times with 10 men. There are a lot of factors, but obviously it's something that we've done much better in the past, especially when we've been ahead in games, and today without really much happening, especially in the second half, we have to be able to see the game off.
I'm just wondering what your thoughts were on the Martinelli goal disallowed and offside on the side, whether the ball was off or not. Did you have a good view of it? Did you think it was?
No, it took a long time, but I haven't seen the replay yet, so I don't know exactly why the decision was. I don't know.
And just in terms of the draws, is it, as I say, valuable lesson in terms of for next season? If you're going for a title, you just can't draw as many games as is.
Yeah, or lose. I mean, you have to win a certain amount of money of games, and a certain amount of points. We have only lost 3 games, 2 of them with 10 men. So we have to win many more.
Sorry to mention this, Mikel, but having spent so much of the season looking at Liverpool and who's in front, are you now a little bit concerned about maybe what's behind and trying to stay in second? Because, difficult period of the season with the Champions League and the remaining games to play, and there are other teams on the hunt too.
We always look, because we know how tough it is to win football matches in the Premier League, and especially with the amount of numbers and the amount of games that we have, we're going to have to be really good in both competition to earn the right to be where we want to end up.
Does finishing second mean a lot to you?
Sorry?
Does finishing second mean a lot?
We'll see where we finish. We have to do everything that we can game by game.
Simon Standard?
Mikel, what's the issue with Mikel and Ben White? Are you hopeful that they'll be all right for Tuesday?
Yeah, we have to wait and see, but they weren't able to be in the squad today.
Can I ask you as well about Leo? Obviously, he didn't start either of those legs against Real Madrid, but he responded. He's got 4 goals in his last 4 league games. How impressed have you been with that reaction, and how much is he now pushing to start?
Very good. I think he's been a very consistent player for us, whether playing as a 9, as a winger, starting or being a sub, and that's what you want from play. He's always ready, he's always fit, and he can make the difference in any moment. That's the best thing about Leo.
I think that last couple, firstly, Tom from London.
Hi.
These 2 games, Ipswich and now this game, do you feel like you've got a good idea in your mind about how you might set up for that game next week with those 2 experiences?
Without understanding who is available, at the moment, very difficult.
Yeah, Brian James, CBS.
I know there's some press reports just before this game around Thomas Partey's future in his contract. Is there any update in that, and do you want him to stay?
I already gave the update the other day, and I think it's not for me to give any more information about that.
Okay, guys, thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you.
When you look at the draw, Barca play Inter, obviously PSG play Arsenal. Is it wide open? Is there an outstanding favourite there? Will Arsenal never get a better chance?
Yeah, exactly that. Either one of those teams could do it. Inter Milan is the only team that's beaten Arsenal in the Champions League, and I thought they were unlucky that night. So let's see what happens. Just get the job done. I think now he's got everybody available. He can attack the game and they can really commit. And I think they just lack that little bit of commitment tonight to truly get over the line. They're looking over their shoulder a little bit now because they want to get the necessary points. They still got to play Newcastle, still got to play Liverpool. So no one's going to take that for granted. But now they can commit now to this Champions League semi-final.
And in terms of the Premier League, as Michael says, runners-up, 3 seasons in a row probably. Only Arsenal have ever done that in the Premier League era, and your good self was involved in that squad. Exactly. Would you like to tell us what happened after the 3rd runners-up?
We were on the double in 2002, and let me tell you, it was sweet, tasted good, but it was a long, winding path to be successful. But we got there in the end, and it hurts when you're sitting there. Obviously, Michael Owen scores the cup final goals. That was one of the years we didn't win anything, and you have to suck it up. You have to make sure it doesn't happen again. And this Arsenal team, I've got the ingredients, but it will need to buy. I don't think the squad's big enough. Even now, tonight, they couldn't, make enough changes, really. So he'll keep building, he'll keep buying, and he's relentless. I think he's got that pep ingredient where he wants to win things, and the first thing they win will taste really good. Let's hope it's the Champions League this year.
I'm never tired of seeing the smile on his face when someone mentions the Michael Owen Cup final.
It literally is his cup final, though.
Well, it was.
Yeah,
I was fortunate to be there.
I was
not in the room.
It was actually Martin's fault.
I went up for a call.
He went up for the corner. He should have stayed back. He was the only one with pace.
Don't open that kind of worms at this time of night. Right, before we do all that, here is Mikel Arteta.
Down, and when you have conceded 10 goals in the last 2 away games and playing then here at Emirates, it's good. It's a tricky situation, but the reaction of the players was unbelievable. So we didn't lose. We always stick to our plan. We didn't lose our head. We didn't lose our confidence, our belief, and creating so many chances here at Emirates against Arsenal is quite difficult. And so I'm really very proud on the players how they performed today.
Does competing the way you did this evening embolden your hopes? Playing Champions League semi-finals, does it embolden those hopes ahead of Saturday?
I personally don't need this because I know what this group of players can show and how they can perform, because they showed it and proved it many times. Maybe not in the last 2 away games, but also maybe for 30-40 minutes at the Etihad. So I know what this group of players can do. But of course, and it's not so easy. All human beings there, and it's not always so easy. Always being on the top levels, and for all of us, it's not so easy. But we know that when we stick to the plan, when we're tactically disciplined, like we were to do, everybody does his job. Then it's not so easy to play against us, and also the same in attack and also in possession. We move the ball very quickly with a great movement, also in possession. Then especially very often we could solve the situations with our sixes, with Daichi and Adam, and our pocket players were in a good position, and then creating the attacks. And then this is, we needed to play in their half, otherwise we can't score, and also we need them to think about us, and this is what we showed today. We showed in many games, and this is what we will need at Wembley on Saturday, at least on the same level.
And finally, from me, great for JP to get that confidence boost with the goal after the semi-final. Has been taken off in these last few games. Just sum that up for me.
We showed the players yesterday when we was preparing the opponent. We showed them the dry ice high. It was the 3rd time we had this situation. The first one, Justin Devaney didn't recognize it, so he forgot it. Adam Wharton had the kick in the first half.